So why did I leave Tbilisi?
This is me at my worst. Mold did this to me. It also scrambled my brain. I filmed what I could. Now I'm picking through the wreckage. Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, England, Egypt, Georgia. I travelled the world looking for a place to breathe. This is my mold story.
Well, while I tell the story, let's have a look. This is Tbilisi in Georgia. This was supposed to be the answer. This was supposed to be the place where I healed and got it together. First of all, the buildings. As you can see, there's a lot of old buildings. This is an old Soviet country. This is part of the old USSR. So there's a lot of that old Soviet architecture. Ancient Tbilisi, old Tbilisi is really wonderful. There's no footage of there, unfortunately. I only went there once, and it's the sort of place that I would normally love. Really old buildings, little basement bars, really quirky little shops everywhere. But just walking the streets, my mold illness sensitivities all kicked in. That was before I went into any buildings, so obviously I didn't go into any of them. So there's all the fun stuff that Tbilisi has to offer. That's off the table for me straight away. As you saw in the last video, I went and got myself an apartment, and that didn't work out very well for me. I took an apartment on the edge of the city. I didn't want to be in the centre of it all. I thought I'd be safer there. I thought there'd be fewer mold and CIRS triggers. What I found was a whole lot of boredom. There was nothing to do. There was no people to interact with. I couldn't go anywhere. You go to a new city. What do? You go out and you meet people. Where do you meet people? You go to bars. You go to coffee shops. You go to restaurants. I couldn't go into any of those places. If I went into them, my ears would stuff up, my migraines would kick in, and all the mold symptoms would trigger. Everybody smokes in Tbilisi, Georgia. So if you sit outside a restaurant or a bar, you're surrounded by 20 or 30 people all smoking cigarettes. Since I developed mold illness, if somebody smokes a cigarette next to me, I get a crazy migraine, anxiety like you would not believe. And if I sit there too long, I can't walk straight afterwards. It's like I've drank half a bottle of vodka. I'm all over the place. The brain fog is intense. I get this intense feeling that I need to run away. So sitting outside coffee shops and bars is out of the question. So you're not meeting anybody. So I spent all of my time in this apartment on my own, isolated, out of the way. In a country where I didn't speak the language, in a part of town where you don't find the expats and the tourists. It was horrible. So you're depressed. You're getting sick for the off-gassing in the apartment. You're having breathing difficulties, and every time you go somewhere, your mold symptoms kick in. Plus, it's the summer and it's hot as hell and it's 40 degrees. So everyone's wearing strong perfumes and deodorants. You've got that VOC chemical sensitivity, and yes, I am allergic to people. So again, you don't want to go anywhere near people. You want to avoid them. So you go further into your shell and you become more and more depressed. Then I got attacked on the street twice. I was walking down the street one day and someone's dog just bit me. Just jumped up and just bit me. I might have swore at the dog. In fact, I know I swore at the dog. I called the dog a little fucker. And then the owner started shouting at me because I'd shouted at his precious dog. I told the owner to go home and have sex with his mother. He didn't like that. We got into an altercation. I was crossing the road one day and I stopped because there was a car coming. So I'm kind of this some road and I stopped. The car is driving. Because I've stopped, the car can keep driving on its course and it misses me by a long way. The driver of the car looked at me and then swerved towards me. And I jumped out of the way and again suggested that the driver might want to go home and have sex with his mother. He stopped his car and got out and we got into an altercation. The guy had tried to run me over. Of course I was going to call him a motherfucker. There were various other occasions, especially with dogs. The dogs there are wild. The owners don't control them. They care about their animals more than the people. There's a couple of times where dogs nearly bit me and I'd shout at the dog, get into an altercation with the owner. The police stopped me a couple of times on the street outside my own home, wanting to know where I was going, what I was doing, see my papers. Talk about a throwback to the Soviet days. If I'm walking up the street to the shop to buy something, I'm not showing a police officer my identification. One, because I'm not carrying it, because I'm just going to the shop. And two, because, fuck you. So when I added it all together, apartment that was killing me, depression that had made me suicidal, being attacked on the street a couple of times, being constantly stopped by the police, I decided to leave. I saw a cheap flight to the country of Albania